So this is part two where I left off on my Boaz vlog. The previous one, I had a friend that knocked on my door, so I had to take that, and that's why the video abruptly cut off. So my apologies for that. But anyways, continuing off to where I left off on, I don't really remember where I left off on, so I'm just going to continue with my point, using examples in the Bible on being the one for for that person. I'm gonna go off on a lady's point of view of us being the one because I am a lady, and like I said again, this is a reminder to myself. But it definitely also sticks out for men. Like this is it's what you should be looking for in a woman. I know one verse that really sticks out when I think about it is Proverbs 31. So I'm gonna turn there in my Bible and read it. I know a lot of people know about Proverbs 31, mostly, especially because what sticks out to me about it is there's a poet named Genetics, and she did a poem on waiting for the one, and it's called "I Will Wait," and it's absolutely amazing. You should definitely look it up. And one line that definitely stuck out to me was, "I will be the one drenched in Proverbs 31," which is definitely an amazing declaration. Pretty much, Proverbs 31 is talking about the type of woman we should be, us women should be. We, um, like one verse, starting at verse 25. I'm just gonna, it's all about being an amazing woman of God. But I'm just gonna skip around. So verse 25 says, "Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looks well to the ways of her household, and eats not the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but you are excellent of them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates." I think the most popular verse from Proverbs 31 is Proverbs 31, verse 30. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Again, going back on focusing on God, fearing God, that's when you get your reward. And this is not just for women, but for men as well. Definitely keep looking onto the author and finisher of your faith, and so many amazing things will come to you. Not just the one for you, but so many blessings, so many things that you need in your life, so many things that God will give you to continue with your walk with Him and with what He has in store for you. And another example I wanted to use in the Bible, bouncing off from Boaz and Ruth to another person in the Bible, is Esther, the story of Esther. That really stands out to me because Esther was a humble Jewish girl. She was actually Hadassah, living in Persia, and she had no idea she would be queen. She didn't know. I mean, I'm not saying she didn't know God's will for her, but I don't think the moment you're born, people are like, "You're gonna be a queen." She didn't know, and she found favor in the king's eyes. So we need to not, girls go around saying, "I need to be treated like a queen," blah blah blah. We need to act like a queen. We need to be able to find that favor. And I'm not talking about pleasing them or holding your head up high in like a regal stature, but a queen is elegant. A queen is formal. She's very ladylike, and that's what you need to be, not selling yourself out there. Esther had the eloquence and the manner of a queen, and that's why she was so fit to be queen. That's why God chose her, knowing that she can handle the tasks and the burdens of being a queen. And she could handle being the king's wife. She found favor in the eyes of the king. The king chose her out of so many other women. Just like the one for us is going to come along, God is going to have already handpicked that person for us. And he's that guy and that girl, they're going to pick us. God's already chosen it ahead of time. But out of so many people, that's who we're going to be with. And and so we need to find a king. And I'm not saying literally not go find a wealthy man like Boaz or go marry a king. I mean, that would be great. Hey, if that's what God has in store for you and you end up marrying a billionaire or a king, that's amazing. But find a guy who upholds himself in a regal manner. And, like, he fears the Lord. He knows that he's a child of God. A king is also very upstanding, very respected, and people look up to him. He rules. And like I said, this guy's going to be ruling your household. Find a guy who can rule. A guy who can stand up for what he believes in. A guy who can stand up for you, defend you, and respect you and love your family that you're going to build together. So this is definitely a huge reminder for me. Also learning to let go of hindrances in your life that are going to prohibit you from walking forward in what God has for you. Learn to let go despite how hard it was. Ruth had to let go of her past and choose to follow Naomi. She could have easily stayed in her house. She could have easily stayed with Orpah. But Orpah was never mentioned again, and Ruth was. She's in the bloodline of Jesus Christ. That's amazing. God really richly blessed her, despite all the pain that she went through. And he gave her Boaz. So when people go around saying, oh, I want to find my Boaz, look into that. Study it. Meditate on it. Don't just go around throwing that phrase around and joking around about it. You really want to find the one for you. Definitely meditate on God. Focus on God. That's the first and foremost thing that I've learned. I'm learning to find balance in my life, and it's amazing. Like, the more I focus on God, the happier I get, and I can see more clearly the future that God has for me. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I can feel what God is coming for me. And I know it's great. I can't exactly pinpoint and say where I'm going to be this time next year. I have no idea. But I know it's great, and I'm resting in God's promise that He has a perfect plan laid out for me, and He has um, someone amazing in store for me. I have no idea who that is right now, to be totally honest with you. I have no idea who it is. It could be someone I've already met, it could be someone I haven't met yet. But I just know that God is a good God. So if we're going to trust God, and if we say we're trusting God, and He's a great, amazing God, don't you think He has great, amazing things in store for us? I mean, if His grace is an ocean, we're all sinking in the awesomeness that is God. And so I'm going to put my trust in Him that everything's going to work out. And I don't, honestly, I don't have a say in who the one is for me. God knows what's best for me. He knows me better than I know myself. Sometimes I'm like, wow, God, you really know me because I didn't even know that aspect about me. And He knows what I need. Right now, I'm Irene. I'm 18 years old. I'm a freshman at Oral Roberts University, major in international relations, and I have a lot of studying to do. I have a couple exams after spring break, and right now I'm on track to graduate from college and to serve God in the process of it and afterwards, and to find out what His will is for my life. I can honestly say that right now at this point in my life, I don't have the room for a relationship. I can't balance a relationship right now. I got my midterm grades and they're pretty good, and I was really happy with that because it's not what I was expecting. And I'm finding that balance in my life that, yeah, that physical, fleshly side of me is starting to say, oh, well, a lot of people are dating and getting married and having families, and I don't have a boyfriend yet. I've never had a boyfriend before. But I'm 18 years old, and I know that here in America, 18 is the legal age. You can be an adult, make your own decisions, everything. But I look at myself and I say that I'm really young. I'm really young right now, especially when I look at the couples that I do look up to, like couples in my church, like my pastors. And I'm so young. I have so much more to learn. I just started college. I don't have the room to be worried about finding a husband right now. Because honestly, if I were to ever date a guy, I would want the person that I date to be the one for me. I don't want to date any other guys. I don't want to fall into traps. I don't want to get tangled up in that stuff. If he's not the one for me, I'm not going to go pour my heart out and be buddy buddy with someone who's not the one for me. If I date a guy, I want it to be that he's going to be my husband. End of story. And right now, I don't know who that is. And my number one goal is to graduate at this point and to study and to focus hard on what God has laid already in front of me, what God has already shown me. He's already gotten me to ORU. My job is to do my best and let God take care of the rest. So that's definitely what you should be doing, male or female. I know I pinpointed this towards the ladies, but definitely focus on what God has already laid out for you. If you're working for the military, if you're in college, if you're still in school, if you are in the workforce, focus on what God has given to you. Work really hard and don't lose sight of who you are. Don't let that passion leave you. That's something I'm definitely learning to do, is not letting that passion for Christ leave me, even in the search of finding the one for me. And it also gives me a chance to allow God to mold me into being the one for whoever I'm meant to be with. Because I can't be equally yoked with them if I'm not the one myself. So, in conclusion, these are just things that I'm rambling on about, and next time I'll look more into it and not just ramble as much. But these were definitely on my heart, and I wanted to share it and talk it out and take a deep breath and let it be a reminder to myself. So look into that. Post any comments or message me or anything. If you have anything to share, I'm really open to it. I am excited to hear what other people have to say. If there's anything you noticed about something that I said, I'm really open to it, and I'm open to talking about it and talking about God and anything you need to talk about. So that concludes my Boaz vlogs. That's what I'm deciding to call them. Finding the one for you and being the one. And everyone have an amazingly blessed day. I'm on spring break right now, and I just made popcorn, so I'm gonna go eat it and meditate on God and listen to Lecrae. And so, yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye!